Hello and welcome back to the Topper Machine Sawmill. I'm Josh Topper and I made this mill entirely in my shop. Those of you following the channel saw me make some parts for the mill. One of them was the drive shaft yoke adapter here, but I didn't show all the rest of the parts. I did make the belt pulley, but I didn't put that on yet. I still need to balance that. But let me grab the camera, I'll show you the work we've done so far, and then we're going to give this thing a test run before Carl gets here this evening and we start sawing. So let's see how everything works out. So right here is that drive shaft yoke adapter I made in a previous video, and the whole reason for this setup is the blade is adjustable, so I can adjust the angle of the blade a little bit by adjusting the arbor this way or this way, and I need that bit of give right there. But as overall, a solid shaft is best. And then we did the 4-foot pole spacing, putting up the building for this framework that is supporting the outer bearing here. And then this is where the belt pulley goes. This is all outside the building. So when the building is put up and finished, the belt pulley's out here. The belt can run along the side of the building here, back over there to the steam engine. So the belt is outside the shed, which is even safer. I got my PTO adapter on here. So we got, this is a double row tapered roller bearing. This is a very good bearing on here. They're very expensive. I think they're like $400 or $500, if not more. They might be more. I've got a couple of these that I bought, so if I need to, I can add a second one. But I think we're in good shape. So this whole structure is all welded and then bolted to the poles. You see the bolts going through, so that when the steam engine is on here in the belt and it's pulling, this is helping to sustain the rigidity of everything. So this was the best way I could come up with. It ties everything together. We got 3 poles tied together. So I think we're going to be safe here as far as strength. And then obviously the tractor is hooked up to the PTO right now. Now there is one little surprise that I discovered the other day when working on this, and I'm going to take you over and show you. Okay, without getting too close myself, that's our sawdust auger, and in there is a paper wasp nest. So they're going to go for a nice ride. So let's fire up the mill and well, let's see what happens. All right, I'm gonna let the tractor warm up for a minute. I'm gonna take you guys over, set you up with a good view of that paper wasp nest, and then we'll start everything up. Well, they don't look much too happy. It looks like quite the wild ride for them. All right, I'm getting out of here. Well, I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but there's a lot of them swarming around there. But I think we'll be okay to saw with them in there, and hopefully that sawdust will knock them out. So let's check out the drive shaft and everything and see how everything looks otherwise. All right, I'm running up to speed with the PTO, and many comment on this. This is a rotating shaft cover, so it's safe. We're running in our bearing there. I don't feel any movement there. Let's move over to the shaft and take a lot of people were commenting on shaft wobble, and there's a little bit, but it's not bad. That's a 2-inch shaft, so I'm not overly concerned by it. And then come over to our hub here, and that looks like it's running pretty darn good. So everything seems to be running pretty decent. We're gonna shut the mill down here. That looks good. Once we start getting into cuts, we'll be able to see if there's going to be a problem there and if I have to support that shaft additionally in the middle. If that's the case, then I have a plan for that. But we'll shut the mill down until Carl gets here, and then we'll start sawing it. I'm going to take you over once I shut the tractor off and show you the logs we're cutting and see if we can hear the pine weevils in there chewing away. You know, as soon as that auger stopped, they calmed down considerably. I wonder how much damage it did to the hive. Anyway, let's look at those logs. So these are the logs we're going to be sawing tonight, and Carl's going to bring some more. I'm going to guess this one right here is about 16-inch diameter. Got to be about 14, 15. So we got some pretty good sized logs in here to saw. Okay, so now I mentioned the pine weevils. They're a bug that bores into the log. And I see a hole here for one. I see a hole there from one. Now I'm not hearing them, but they're kind of iffy. But I'll take the microphone and see if we can hear a couple. All right, so they're not very loud right now, and it might be from the heat of the day or whatever. I know if you get too close or tap on the log, they quit. But I was hearing it. I don't know if you could hear it over the microphone. It's a weird sound. So anyway, we're gonna do this video now. We're gonna go back to my normal type of content with the sawmill where we just saw and you get to enjoy the ride. And then at the end of the video, we'll talk about the adapters and how everything performed, and I'll try to focus on that stuff. So without further ado, let's get with the sawing. So now, isn't that weird? I rolled them down here and they got a little more active. So now you can hear them chewing, and this is just a couple. I've seen logs that they've turned into Swiss cheese, and it was just loud, almost deafening. If you're out in the woods and you got deadfall pine, it's so loud, this chewing. Still kind of cool. So as we're sawing, if we cut one out, I'll show you what they look like. Well, we got one log sawed up. Carl had a little bit of a rib injury, so he wasn't feeling it after the first one. He was getting pretty sore, so we're going to give it a couple days and try to get the rest of these cut up. But he also was a little concerned about those paper wasps, so we expended an entire can of wasp killer on them, and I'm going to come back out first thing in the morning when it's cool and hose them one more time. But they were not happy. So this might be the end of this video. We'll see them when I get into the editing. Otherwise, I may just throw the camera back up and film when we start sawing again here in a couple of days. So it might be the end here, and it might not. So thanks for watching, and with that, until next time, get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.